What is up, guys? So, we have a Sunday rest day ahead of us, and a question I get all the time is, my God, it's already flooding over here. We have a tropical storm coming, and there's going to be a lot of water around my house today. But that's all right. It's also because it's high tide right now, too, so that doesn't help. But where I was going with that is, I had a ton of people ask me about my program design, why I do certain things on certain days, what I think the best split is for real, because you have people who think, a bro split is best, people who think, it doesn't matter, people who think that you got to train everything twice a week, whatever. And I'm not gonna tell you which one is best, which one is this, that, or the next thing, but I'm gonna tell you what I do in my side of it, if you will. We all have our opinions, and if you're training hard, then it really doesn't matter, because as long as you're getting results, then at the end of the day, that's why we're all here, right? So once you get further along your fitness journey, it'll start to matter more. But if you're going to the gym just because you love it, you're having a good time, you're burning off some stress, burning off some energy, man, then it's not that important. But like I said, once you really get to a point where things have to be a little bit more technical, I'm not saying train everything like the perfect science, blah, 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 but a bit more technical, where there's like a saying I always use. I've been using it to this day. It was from my 7th grade science teacher. The guy was a little kooky, and he always goes, "There's a method to my madness. There's a method to my madness." And I've been saying that ever since. When it was me telling clients what to do, I'm like, just shut up, there's a method to my madness. And then they'll call me like, "You were right," and I go, "Yeah, I know. That'll be one cookie, please." Click. They knew I could be bought with food and treats. So, yeah, once you need to add a smidge of method to your madness, then you'll find your results getting a little bit better. So, this is what I do, at least. And I'll tell you why at the end. So, Monday I train back and a little bit of calves. Tuesday is chest, forearms, and some abs. Wednesday I rest. Thursday we have just a solid shoulder workout. Just shoulders? Yeah, just shoulders. Friday's legs and calves again. Saturday, full arm day. Sunday we rest, and we hang out and we chit-chat about why we do things. So, here's the rationale that I've always had. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't matter what day of the week you train certain muscles. It's about the split and how the program's designed. Like, I could take this whole program and shift it up a day or down a day, and it wouldn't matter. In the long term, If I move everything around haphazardly every week, it'll mess me up a little bit. But in terms of just what I train on what days, it doesn't matter. But the reason I start with back on Mondays is for the very simple reason of everybody's training chest on Mondays. So for the most part, my back machines are pretty open, which is a nice freedom. That's why when on Tuesdays, when I go in for chest, everybody already did chest. So I go in there and it's pretty smooth sailing, which is nice. Whoa, buddy. Now, I do forearms on chest day, because if I train them before a back day, it's going to hinder my back workout, because this is always the first line of defense, the forearm, before it can even get to your back. So I need my forearms to be fresh for my back workout, and they can be fatigued for a day or two, because that's why I rest the next day. So, the other main reason earlier in the week I do things like my back and my chest is because if I smash shoulders or arms or anything like that, like my appendages, if I hit them first, and then I go into my back day with sore biceps, I go into my chest day with sore shoulders, sore triceps, whatever, the appendage is always the first line of defense about what gets hit when you're training your torso. So if your triceps are shot, your chest workout's not going to happen. If your biceps are shot, the same thing. Your back workout, it's over, because you need to have them be able to withstand being utilized as a secondary muscle for those things. So Wednesday we rest. Let the body repair the torso, basically. Thursday, I obliterate my shoulders. Plain and simple reason of it makes sense because after my chest day, it's recovered. And I don't want my arms totally shot for my leg days because I still need to be holding up some heavy weight for RDLs. And I have my arm day positioned in a different spot for another reason I'll tell you in a moment. So after that is legs. My leg positioning and your back positioning is pretty important for me because I want my leg day far enough from my back day, because if you go into a leg day with a sore lower back, your squats and everything, it's not going to feel right. It's going to feel off. And you're not going to be as strong as you could be. Just like if you go into a back day with sore legs, hamstrings particularly, you're going to try to do bent over rows or hold the weight and stabilize it when you're doing rows. And what happens is those hamstrings are now going to be a weak link. They're going to have you shaking before you're shaking from your back. Now, there's I don't want to call it a theory because it's true, it's correct, but there's a thought process I have behind why I have my arm days right after my leg days. So, whenever you rip apart muscle fibers, right? Let's say you're popping muscle fibers whenever you're training, which is what happens. You're ripping them apart. You're not just ripping apart nothing. You're ripping apart kind of millions upon millions of kind of like not blank, but pill capsules, right? Because that's what's connecting all the muscle fibers. It's just pill capsules. Now, these pill capsules are full of iron, B vitamins, growth hormone, testosterone, all of these anabolic properties. Because primarily, that's what's making up muscle tissue. That's why it's all of the nutrients that you would get when you eat a piece of meat, right? When we rip apart our muscle fibers, that's what goes into our bloodstream. All of those anabolic properties. And sure, it's on a microscopic level, but those numbers add up significantly when we're training a large muscle group like legs or back. Legs in particular. So if you look at how many muscle fibers you're tearing, let's say when you train, I don't know, arms, like a bicep day, right? You're tearing up this many muscle fibers. And it'll release the growth hormone, testosterone, iron, B vitamins, everything into your bloodstream, but not nearly at the amount that a thick, solid leg day will release, or even a back day. Because if you look at the size of your legs versus the size of your arms, right? You're telling me that, all right, we're parked. Telling me that your arms are going to release more muscle fibers and more pill capsules than a muscle that's got at least 10 times its size. It doesn't make sense. Even the density alone in the legs, when you're pushing apart that heavy weight, that thickness, you're popping all those muscle pill capsules, quote unquote, time and time again. Significantly more than an arm day. So that being said, where I was going with this is whatever you train the day after you pop all those pill capsules, that next workout now has all of these added hormones in its system. So when I go to hit that arm day, what's going to happen is my arm day is going into a much more anabolic spot because of the significant rise. I made a friend. Significant rise of these anabolic properties that are now in your bloodstream. You see what I'm saying? So that's my split, and that's why. Now, everybody has their own opinion of how you should split up your splits. Obviously, I believe mine is the best because it's worked for me, and I've changed it time and time again to work for what's going on in my life, But that being said, ironically, when you really bring true science of muscle recovery and repairing into the equation, it really is a bro split. It's giving your muscles absolute thrashing independently and ample time to recover. There'll be theories that say training something twice a week is best, training something 3 times a week is best, training something 7 days a week is best, and training everything 7 days a week is best. But you have to remember, just like you're looking at politics and studies and everything, who's funding those studies? Is the guy who trains 7 days a week, doing the study of is training 7 days a week best? Of course, just like if I would be biased toward my own. But I like to let results speak for themselves. And for me, I'll be the first one to tell you that my 5 day a week split is not perfect. And that's proof right there. For me, the growth in my body, I've always found the best results I've ever gotten on a 4 day a week split. But I had an issue with it, and I'll tell you why. So, when I was training 4 days a week, it was something along the lines of it was 2 days on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off, something along those lines. It was pretty much an every other day kind of split, giving my body plenty of time to rest and repair. Now, I know I had a leg day, like a solid just by itself leg day. I had a shoulder and tricep day. I had a back day by itself. And I had a chest and bicep day. And then I put abs in there somewhere, right? Now, for me, with all that recovery time, because you guys have seen me, I train hard. I love to train complete intensity, just balls out intensity, Dorian Yates style, Mike Mentzer style, you name it. But for me, my arms have always been my weak spot. And if I didn't give them an arm day, I found that they weren't growing. Everything else was growing great, except my arms. So unfortunately, I needed that arm day, which takes away from a recovery day for me, which is fine. It is what it is. You have to work with what you have going on. And for me, that was my magic formula, where I needed that 5 day split. Now, my issues with when people train something twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever, and even the splits that say, oh, but 1 day's a light day, 1 day's a heavy day. You got to remember, when you're not training that muscle, you're training something else that day, you're still activating those muscle fibers in terms of the nervous system. So when I'm training back, right, I'm still activating my nervous system in my shoulders, in my biceps, they're getting kind of worked, my triceps to stabilize, my legs to stabilize, my pecs to stabilize, my core to stabilize. So really, when you're training consistently, on a consistent basis, you're training everything, at least from a neurological stimulation standpoint, every single workout. And then one of those days, you're just going after it, So, that's the biggest thing, man, is, science and whatever always proves different theories, and this is why and that's why, but the ultimate thing is how it works with your body. How do you train? What is your quote unquote 100% intensity? I thought I trained hard when I was younger. I thought I trained like a beast until I went to Spain and studied directly under Dorian Yates one-on-one for a week, and I learned what true 100% intensity meant for the human body. That was a level up upon a level up for me, where, like I said, always thought I trained hard, and I wasn't training, like a little bitch by any means, but my intensity level itself, where I once thought that would have been injury level, I found that was my true working, just intensity every workout. That's what makes the difference. So sometimes a 2 day a week split will work, a 2 times a week split will work better for you if you're not training intense enough, because you're just stimulating and you never really got that ample work set where you needed those rest days to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? But the hard part is that we all think we're training hard, right? Nobody thinks, well, I'm not training hard enough, so I guess I can do twice a week. You would think to yourself, at least the people I'm talking to, I'm sure, is, no, I'm training hard, I want to train hard. So if you see yourself, here's a little hack for you. If you see yourself getting better results, training more than once a week, that means your intensity in the gym isn't high enough. Because if you can get results training something more than once a week, then you didn't beat it up enough to amply annihilate that muscle to need those rest days. Those rest days are when our muscles grow and repair each other, and they repair themselves. You know, when you're in the gym, you get weak and small, side the pump, whatever. You're burning calories, you're ripping up muscle tissue. Your body's burning muscle up. Not burning muscle, but you know what I mean, it's ripping it up, it's tearing it apart. When you're home that night, eating your meals, sleeping, the next day when you're not touching it, you're letting it rest, repair, grow, the hormones are doing their thing, the food doing its thing. You should come back into the gym every single week a little bit better than you were last week. And if you're training true 100% intensity, or damn near close to it, then that's what you'll see. If you're not, you'll find yourself trying to get better every single week, and maybe you are, but it's not because your body's getting stronger. It's because you're learning to push that intensity up a little bit because you believe it's gotten stronger. It's a little more psychosomatic, you know? We're all a little crazy in here, but that's the rationale as to why. If you have any questions about your program in particular, what you do, just leave a comment or something, or shoot me a message, whatever platform you're going to be seeing this on. And, you know, I'll help you out the best I can. I'm always happy to help out. But in terms of program design, man, I think that covers it. So we just got to Stop and Shop right now. I got to pick up a couple of things because I tend to forget something every time I come here. You know, if you make me a list, I'll leave it at home, and then I'll be like, I remember what it was. And I'll get home, I'll be like, shit. So I'm here again, picking up some more food. I tend to eat a lot, in case you guys didn't realize. 7,000 calories a day. And we will see you tomorrow for today's Sunday. So what are we training on Monday? Did you say back? Muy bien. Little Dora the Explorer there for you. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have yourselves a great day.